We are here with the wife.
I hate my nails.
We're making the final pack before getting on the plane.
Do you think if I put it in a spray bottle, it would spray? Huh? This and this, would it spray?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's a cream.
Your cream sprays.
Hello friends and welcome to our Everest Base Camp trek, a trip full of beauty, surprises, laughter, nature, Australians, reflection, celebration, culture, and a whole lot of just wow. But before the trek begins, we have to get to Nepal, and we're in Toronto. We've got to go from Toronto to Frankfurt to Delhi to Kathmandu to Lukla, and we need an airport beer.
Alright, we are now at the airport, and of course, you need a beer before you hop on any plane. We need a beer to go to Germany, where we will have another beer. To go to Delhi.
And then no more beer
and then no more beer. Until we're at Everest Base Camp.
Yes.
Our first flight of 3 took us from Toronto to Frankfurt, where we had a 12-hour layover, just enough time to try to catch a football match and have a German pint.
Flight 1 of 3, how do you feel?
Swollen.
Much to Sarah's dismay, arriving in Frankfurt meant it was time to brush off my German accent.
We've arrived in Frankfurt and we are on the hunt for an oven-fresh pretzel.
For all you German students out there, oven-fresh Pretzel translates to oven-fresh pretzel. Now, in the town square, it was time for a pint and a bite.
We are now here in the town square and we ordered 2 beers, or as they call it, bier. No, I don't know how they say it.
I don't think it's bier.
Pilsner, and a bratwurst and a frankfurter, and some sauerkraut. We're going crazy.
After our exciting German meal, it was time to visit the madhouse that was Eintracht Frankfurt FC. After a thrilling 0-0 draw, our time in Frankfurt was over.
Wisteria Airline.
No, Vistara. No sleep. We're running
Looking
on no
good.
sleep.
It's looking good, the bench and everything. Better than Air Canada so far.
We have officially arrived.
Flight number 2 complete.
We are in New Delhi. Probably just looks like an airport, but it's New Delhi. Hopefully this airport has samosa.
Now, unfortunately, the samosas in the airport were lackluster, and they were served with ketchup, which I truly don't understand, and I have to blame Americans for. Eventually, in the airport, we found a lineup of people with backpacks getting ready to go on a plane, and we said, you know what, they're probably heading to the same place we are, the backpacking capital of the world, Kathmandu, Nepal. And after a very turbulent entry in, we were finally at our destination.
We made it!
Oh my god.
So this is the view from the rooftop hotel bar. The mountains continue all the way around.
It's incredible.
After dropping our stuff, we had our first Nepalese meal, momo dumplings, and then headed out on the town. Now, this video here does not do justice to the absolute craziness of the streets of Kathmandu. You are always one wrong step away from losing a leg, getting your foot run over. No one ever really stops. It's just go your own route. You know, stick your hand out and find your way through traffic and it's going to be okay. When in Kathmandu, you do as the Kathmandu-be-dooby-doo. The following day, we had our first traditional Nepalese breakfast, and I'll let Sarah walk you through how we think you're supposed to eat it.
I'm not sure. I'm doing it this way. Take a piece of the bread, cut to make a little, like, scoopy thing, like this. Take some of your egg in it. Take some of the dal with the potato and everything. switch hand because no left here.
The books we had read before coming on Nepalese culture told us that you never eat with your left hand. That's only for wiping your ass.
Just
We spent the final day before beginning our trek walking around Kathmandu, seeing the sights and sounds of the city. We went to Durbar Square. We visited some religious stupas like the one you see here, walking clockwise around it for good luck. We saw some doggos, checked out some more sights and sounds, and then relaxed in a garden before it was trek time.
Good morning.
It's currently 2:50 a.m. in Kathmandu, Nepal. We are on our way to the airport.
It's a long way. It's 4 hours. So this is our home for the next 4 hours.
The 4-hour drive from Ramechhap Airport was absolutely terrifying. The road was treacherous. It was pitch black. God bless our driver. Thank God we got a little pit stop with some calming rooster sounds. And then we were there. Ramechhap Airport seemingly operates like a bus terminal as far as we could gather. It's like first come, first serve, but luckily our guides were so awesome, got us on a plane pretty quickly while other people were seemingly waiting for hours. We did see a wanted poster, but we ain't no snitches, so we didn't turn her in, and soon enough we were outside the airport looking at the tarmac and ready to hop on the plane.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to come to Everest?
It's like always been my lifelong goal. I don't know why. Just as soon as I heard there's the tallest mountain in the world, I'm like, well, I gotta go to it. Namaste.
We made sure to sit on the left side of the plane for ideal views.
Not good and I'm in charge.
You grab that?
What?
You get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think it's not good, I'm in charge.
As quickly as we crammed ourselves into the little tin can, we were off and in the air. It's a short 20-minute flight, but it's about as scenic and beautiful as they come. If you ignore the fact that you'll be landing on a slanted runway on a cliff at the world's most dangerous airport, it's actually quite stunning, especially once you start to see the Himalayan monsters come into view. Now, while we were in the air, you can't stop thinking about that landing, but thankfully, after not so long, it comes. Now, the runway itself is only 600 feet, and thank God that it goes uphill because they wouldn't have enough time to brake the plane on its own and slow down if it weren't going uphill. Still, didn't feel like there was tons of margin for error, but that's alright because we landed, we were safe, and we made it to the Khumbu Valley, and it was time to begin our trek at our first tea house.
Get in the video.
After a meal at the tea house, our guide Bishwa reminded us to always look around or you might miss a beautiful thing right behind you.
Wouldn't have seen that.
No.
Yeah, it's like we gotta look up.
We got really lucky with awesome weather and a mostly downhill day one, which really helped with the elevation. As we passed through the Pasang Lamu Sherpa gate, she was the first Nepalese woman to summit Everest. Don't ask what happened on the way down. We saw our first porter. Porters are the lifeblood of the trekking industry. These guys are paid per kilogram that they bring up the mountain, so some of them stack incredible loads on their back to provide for their families. Right here is Arjun and Huddy. They were our two personal porters. We couldn't do this trek without these guys. It is so impressive and they are so friendly. And then it was time for our first suspension bridge. It's initially a little daunting being up on those bouncy bridges, but we got the hang of it and really settled into the day. Walking through the mountainside is kind of like this form of quiet meditation with you, nature, and some yows. Yaos are half yak, half cow, and you'll see them mainly at lower elevations such as this one.
Can you give us a description of the town we're coming up to? What's the name? It's our
Fuck something.
So here is our first tea house. We've got 2 sleeping doggos on the lawn. Meet the squad. We got Bishwa, the greatest guide of all time, killing it. We've got Joss. We've got Sarah, you know her.
Hi.
We've got myself, and we've got one man missing. Ian is nowhere to be seen at the moment. Showering. You can't blame him after a long day. We are here in our first tea house accommodations. Pretty goddamn sweet. Pretty stunning.
It's stunning, isn't it?
We've even got our own private bathroom. With a shower. That's pretty rare.
And toilet paper.
Pretty exciting stuff.
We settled in for our first tea house dinner. There's Ian, he was missing in the intros earlier. And the food was actually pretty goddamn awesome.
Are you from in the front?
It's filming us.
Hi.
We were absolutely gassed after day 1, and we went to bed early at probably around 6:30 p.m. and slept for 12 hours.
How are you?
As our guide Bishwa told us, day 2 was going to kick our ass. It was the highest elevation gain in a single day for the entire trip, but that would be later.
Good job, baby. It's crazy. Mad.
As punishment for being descendants of convicts and criminals, we decided to photobomb our Australian companions. Then it was through one more small village and we were almost at the gate to the national park.
Alright, Sarah, we are almost about to enter Sagarmatha National Park, the national park where Everest is. What's your review of the trek so far?
There's a lot of uneven rocks. I didn't expect that.
What'd you do?
Overall, very beautiful. You have to look down, not to twist an ankle, but you also have to look up to appreciate the beauty of nature, the cute trees, the plant, the animals, the birds, the mountain. It smells fresh here
Where did you pee today?
in the forest.
With a bunch of people walking right by.
Yeah.
It was cute.
They probably saw my bum.
It was such a nice moment.
Hope it made their day.
After we passed through the gate to the national park, we gazed upon the holy mountain, which Bishwa told us is under 6,000 meters and basically just a baby mountain. It's a hill for him. But then we got to go and cross the Hillary Bridge, which I'll let you listen into the raw power of nature as we cross after going up many stairs.
Holy fuck, dude.
Now, down there is apparently being turned into a bungee jumping spot. That's actually the original bridge that Hillary and Tenzing Norgay used on their original expedition that got them to the top of the mountain for the first time. After the bridge, it was basically just up.
Wow.
Hours and hours of grueling climbing. It was hard.
We are getting very close now to the village of Namche Bazaar,
Of Everest.
the capital of Everest.
After turning one more corner, there it was. Namche Bazaar.
We are 3,400 meters up in the sky and we've reached the famous village Namche Bazaar with mountains overlooking us. Beautiful women and Aussies. You can't get better than this.
Namche is a bumping city. They've got bars, cafes, volleyball courts, and of course, Buddhist prayer wheels spinning clockwise.
So this is tea house number 2. This is premium mountain luxury. Oh, and check out the view. Yeah, the view's not bad either. I mean, come on now.
Hard to beat
Yeah.
the Sim Tower.
And in here, it's pretty sweet. We've got our own enclosed shower, on the mountain.
I was able to wet my hair today.
Hotel Namche was a wicked awesome tea house. I mean, Gollum himself had visited. It seemed like any mountaineer that had ever climbed any mountain had come through this exact spot. I don't know if it was for the food, the ambiance, the people, because it all is awesome. The first woman who summited 14 8,000 meter peaks without oxygen had been there. It was cool.
Starting day 3. The sun's coming over the mountains. Not a bad view.
This was our first of 2 acclimatization days where you go up to high elevation, but then you come back down. And during that, we got our first almost view of Everest. So it's actually the peak in the clouds on the left. On the right is the 4th tallest mountain, Lhotse. There's me smiling, and then it was time to just go straight up. And straight up we went. Sarah was really not a fan, but it was worth it for the view that we got at the top. I mean, 360 views of some of the most stunning scenes you'll see anywhere in the entire world.
Everest is behind those clouds there. Day 4, we say goodbye to Hotel Namche.
I don't know why I said it like that. It's Namche, not Namchi.
All right, you ready for day 4? Yeah! Sarah, do you want to go up those stairs with those people?
No.
No? Okay, so then we'll go to Tingboche.
I was also pretty happy to not have to go up those steps, but even happier that we met Tenzing. That's the name we gave to this dog, who was with us the majority of the day today. And it's crazy how many of these cute dogs are out there on the mountains, just hiking around with people. They're overall such a good vibe. They're happy, they're healthy. I don't know what the breed is, if it is a breed. They're just Nepalese mountain dogs, and I wanted to adopt one. Bishwa said that us white people love dogs for no good reason, and I'm sorry, I'm white and I love that dog for no good reason. I would probably die for him. After lunch, it was time for another bridge.
Ian!
Oh my, you just cut me off. You wanna go?
Sure.
Oh my god.
I really appreciated the cow not trampling Sarah to death, although it was a close call, because I quite like my wife, and I quite like my life, and I feel like it would have, I don't know, if she was trampled to death, it would have definitely put a sour spin on the rest of the trek, that's for sure. But we got to keep going, and Bishwa taught us this way of hiking to make life a lot easier. You take small steps and go diagonally uphill, and it really reduces the strain on your legs. So this is me attempting that here. Especially in the steeper sections, it is so easy to just focus on your feet and taking the correct step, but you have to look up. After seeing some more cute animals, we had finally made it to Tingboche, one of the world's highest monasteries, where we dug in for a night and prepared for day 5.
Everest, the only mountain in cloud.
After those stunning sunrise views, we began our trek to Tingboche. Tingboche would be the first place that we were staying above 4,000 meters. Look at everyone saying hi to the camera. Ian not knowing what to do, but God, he's a good lad. And today was a day where we really started to notice the difference in vegetation. Trees started to become bushes, and after a while it started to feel like bushes started to become rocks. And also the animals were starting to get different. You're starting to not have the yows, you're starting to have real big sturdy yaks. And while this is a cool camera angle, one of the bummers is You do have to run back after walking by and get the camera, but all worth
So
it.
we've just crossed 4,000 meters here. Terrain is changing a bit.
Just look at this gravity-defying Satan worshiper. I much prefer the fluffy yaks.
Wow.
I started recording just as this was happening, but Joss had bet Bishwa that he couldn't hit a rock with a smaller rock.
Oh no.
In Dingboche, we played some games and prepared for our next acclimatization day. We really did get lucky by having the best guide in the world. He knew everything about every mountain on the entire range. I mean, just listen.
And here is unforgettable, and Amadablam, Kangtega, the thick snow peak on top. Yes. And that is our regular mountain, Hamsharku. And then there is Kongde, and there is Tabuche Peak, Cholache Peak, the lush. Yeah. That is the 6th highest mountain, Mount Shoyu.
Oh wow.
That is 8188 meters high.
I googled that when I got home and he was spot on. And so this day we just hiked up, rested at our elevation, and hiked back down to prepare for day 7.
It's pretty cold now. The water looks freezing if you fell in.
After a very challenging ascent called the Tukla Pass, we made it to the Everest Memorial, which was a truly emotional place dedicated to those who had lost their lives on the mountain, such as this one here for Scott Fisher, who in the movie Everest is played by Jake Gyllenhaal. Everywhere you turn, there's so much tragedy, all in pursuit of this glorious goal of climbing the mountain, and it means a lot to the Nepalese people and anyone who comes through to take a moment to stop here.
So down there you can see base camp for Labuche.
So Labuche is the name of a mountain and also the village that we rested in that night before making our trek to Everest Base Camp. I didn't get too much video because it was starting to get really cold and my camera was put away. But here you can see the beautiful bathroom we had. It was truly luxurious living. And then it was time for day 8.
Day 8. Summit day!
Whoa!
Or I don't know where Sarah is, but she's excited too. Sarah, any comments on the day 8? Going to Everest Base Camp, are you ready? You fired up?
Yes, I'm fired up.
We started early to beat the crowds, but that also meant it was cold. -30 cold.
We've arrived in the town of Gorakhshep. 5,150 meters. The last town before base camp. Everest is just showing itself over that hill.
We stopped in Gorakhshep for some hot bevies, and then it was time for the final push.
Fucking exhausted.
It's like being on a whole different planet at this elevation. We got our first glimpse of base camp, and we knew we were close. Our goal was finally within reach.
Hi.
We're so close!
We let these yaks pass after dropping off some supplies for the climbers at base camp, and then it was our turn for glory.
We have made it! Ah!
It's hard to put into words just how good this felt. This was definitely one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my entire life, and I think Sarah would say the same. It is tough, but so rewarding when you make it there and get to leave your mark as one of the people who have been to base camp of the world's highest point. It really, really was special, but the job was not done for the day because we had to go to Kalapatar, where we were going to try to get the view. Yeah, that was me breaking the news to Sarah. We still had to keep climbing. We wanted to get the best view possible of Everest, and after a hard hike, we did.
We just summited Kalapata!
Oh my god.
And we got a nice view of it.
Oh my god.
The sun setting on Mount Everest might be the only thing in the entire world I've seen that rivals the beauty of my hot, sexy wife. And we got really lucky to see it. We were alone there because no one else thought that the clouds would part. So happy we did it. Joss and Ian took a helicopter back to Kathmandu from base camp, and we knew that after many games of Yahtzee and hot lemon beverages drank, we had friends for life.
Day 9. We are heading home. Day 8 kicked the shit out of me. Last night was brutal. Couldn't eat. Headache pounding through the night. But as we start to descend, things are gonna start feeling better.
My body started to feel way better, but my brain was clearly loopy as I could not keep track of what day it was at any time.
Hey, Sarah-maude.
Hi.
So we have started day 9. We are... Oh, maybe it's day 10. Yeah, it's day 10 now. Look at that.
Day 9.
It's an empty. On day 9.
Day 10.
Day 10. Day 10. God damn it, Bishwa. So, Sarah, we just went down 600 meters. We now immediately have to go back up 400 meters. Are you excited?
No. It's torture.
Yeah! She's
Not
excited.
fair.
We're about to hit an Irish pub. You heard it here first. Irish pub, 3,400 meters in the sky.
This is what we're getting.
Donkey piss.
Is it open?
I think so.
After not having any alcohol on the way up because alcohol makes it hard to deal with the altitude, that first beer hits different. We were in an Irish pub in the Himalayan mountains celebrating our success, and it was special. We didn't get much footage on the way down, but moments like this are ones that I'll always remember.
Okay, day 11.
Day 10.
No. Here's our view outside of the door as we begin our journey back to Lukla, the town where it all began.
It was time to say our final goodbyes to the city of Namche Bazaar, which is the coolest city this side of the Mississippi, or I guess that side of the Mississippi. It's nowhere near the Mississippi River, but it is one cool-ass place. I recommend everyone tries to visit it at least once in their lifetime. We hung some Buddhist prayer flags for more good luck, even though we couldn't ask for much more. The weather we had, no one got hurt, we stayed healthy. We got really lucky on this trip. Oh, and also the drinking water is so delicious. I don't know if I've said that yet, but it is so good.
We've been going about 140 meters straight uphill right before Lukla. Final destination means we've done the trip, but it's testing us one last time. How you feeling?
Good. I'm excited to be done.
After a tough last climb, we made it to Lukla.
Well, come to Lukla Number Hotel. We have officially completed the Everest Base Camp circuit. We have made it back to where we started. A full round trip, thanks to Bishwa.
Sorry.
As you gaze upon my demented face of sheer joy and excitement, I want to leave you with this quote from George Mallory. What is the use of climbing Mount Everest? My answer must at once be, it is of no use. There is not the slightest prospect of any gain whatsoever. Oh, we may learn a little about the behavior of the human body at high altitudes, and possibly medical men may turn our observation to some account for the purposes of aviation, but otherwise nothing will come of it. We shall not bring back a single bit of gold or silver, not a gem, or any coal or iron. If you cannot understand that there is something in man which responds to the challenge of this mountain and goes out to meet it, that the struggle is the struggle of life itself, upward and forever upward, then you won't see why we go. What we get from this adventure is just sheer joy. And joy is, after all, the end of life. We do not live to eat and make money. We eat and make money to be able to live. That is what life means and what life is for.